Hey everybody, okay, welcome to the Cedar Plank cooking video. So I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that, are all about the Cedar Plank. You guys have heard other people, talk about cooking salmon with it, and it's absolutely amazing. So it's a really good option to cook salmon, and yeah, it adds good flavor. It's a fun way to cook it. It's kind of a little bit more of a traditional way to cook it. I didn't really get into Cedar Planks, honestly, until just a couple of years ago. And we'll jump right into it. And I want to kind of talk to you guys, speak on my experience so that you guys don't have to deal with these issues. It's kind of the whole point of this course. So, okay, so we've got our cedar plank here. And as you guys can see, this is a pretty typical size cedar plank. When you guys shop for them, you're going to see them, all sizes. You'll see longer ones that will fit like a whole fillet, or you'll see more, this size where, it's a little more for like a portion. And when it comes to cedar plank, I like doing these. I don't really have a true reason why, but I prefer doing cedar plank with like a portion or a half of a fillet. Again, that's just me. So the key here is to soaking these cedar planks. Number one, that's where you're gonna get all that aroma from, from the cedar as it's on the grill and you apply the heat. All of that steam and that aroma from the cedar plank is going to come out and start cooking and really add some amazing flavor. And I mean, just smelling this, it's awesome. So we work with a company out of Sandpoint, Idaho, where we source all of our planks, and I love these. I love this smell. Anyway, so I like to soak these, no shorter than an hour. So you want to make sure to do at least 1 hour. Sometimes I'll go up to 2 hours on these. And here's why. So in the past, when I first started doing cedar planks, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't soak them for too long. I got in a hurry. I'd soak them maybe for 15, 20, 30 minutes tops. And I would just battle with these things charring up on the grill during that cooking process. My first time doing this, I kid you not, because I didn't know what was going on. So I had a washcloth that I soaked in water, and I was like squeezing water on there to put out flames. Eventually I went to the spray bottle, and then finally I just soaked it a little bit longer, and I rarely have issues with it. But again, it's different every time you cook, depending on the plank. So you guys will see today when we get this on the grill. This has been soaking, I believe it's been just about an hour and a half. So you'll see how this acts after an hour and a half of soak time. So during prep, I just got it on a nice little baking sheet here. I have got a beautiful portion of wild Alaskan coho salmon out of my hometown of Petersburg, Alaska. This stuff was actually caught and harvested just weeks ago. So there we go. So we got the salmon, we got the portion, we got it on the cedar plank. What I'm going to do is, you guys know how much I love olive oil. I am just going to roll with olive oil. And again, remember, you guys can do all sorts of crazy stuff, with cedar plank salmons. A lot of people will just do rubs and just kind of do things, even with like, brown sugar coatings, things to add a crust. A lot of people will do, different kind of sauces on top. All this stuff is going to be very good. And then let's go. So for the seasoning here, I have got Maple Madness by the Drunken Butcher. We met these guys through Instagram. They're out of Utah, Cedar City, Utah, and he's got some really cool seasonings. So this is maple powder, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some mixed spices. So I really like the maple powder in here. And you'll see a lot of recipes out there, especially smoked salmon too, where you're going to see brown sugar added with salmon. And brown sugar makes a really, obviously good flavor, but a really good like crusted glaze over salmon. And I like this maple because without, going crazy with the brown sugar, you kind of still get that same experience. And so I'm not taking it too easy with this stuff. I'm layering it on. Get a little bit of a crust on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a couple little dabs of butter. I'll probably just do 2. Number one, I love olive oil. I love the benefits of olive oil. I love the taste of it. That's going to help keep some of that moisture in. We got the seasoning, the Maple Madness on there. It's going to add a lot of good flavor. We got that butter. That butter is going to melt and cover that whole portion and just lock things in on top of the seasoning. And again, add some really good flavor. So guys, this is really it. And again, I'm really trying to show you guys simple prep and recipe options that are still going to be really, really good. And if you're cooking for friends or family, this, and then with the right temperature and cook time, you're going to blow them away. This stuff is awesome. So we're going to bring this out to the grill, and we'll get into the next step. Okay guys, grill time. We're out here. We got the cedar plank. We got everything ready. One thing I did forget to mention that I just recommend is once you guys thaw that salmon out, before you get it, before you prep it and throw it on the grill, if you can get it as close to room temp as possible, I highly, highly recommend that. I can't always do that. It kind of goes to the same thought as meat. But anyways, that's just one recommendation. Yeah, and so now we're going to throw this on here. I got the grill up to 400 degrees and we're going on. So what we'll do is we're just putting cedar plank right on there. And now we're cooking. So we're going to open this up, a few times, throughout the cooking process to kind of show you guys what that period and the cook time is looking like in that process. But anyway, so what I recommend with a piece of coho salmon like this, we've talked about this in other videos with thickness. So on the grill, I like to get it up to 400 degrees, and then we're going to be, planning on between 20 and 25 minutes just because of this thickness. I know it's going to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to close this up, and we're also going to check it with the food thermometer. And we're going to be looking, for that 140, 145 degree internal temp, and then we're going to be knowing we're right in there. So there it is. Okay guys, so we're about 7 minutes into this, and so we're going to show you here in another shot, but you can see it's starting to char up a little bit, and you can see the salmon is definitely cooking. You can really smell that aroma, and so I just want to get this in here and give you guys an idea of where we are. So yes, we're at about 75 degrees. So again, just want to show you this. We're like 7 minutes into it, but you can see things are cooking. You can see the cedar plank kind of starting to char up here. You see the smoke coming. So I'm going to close this up really quick after we get you a quick little shot so you guys can see this. But again, we want this sealed up so we keep those aromas in there. I wish you guys could smell this. You've got to do this recipe. You guys got to try this. It's amazing. Okay, here we go. Probably about 15 more minutes. This is gonna be my guess. Let's see what it turns out to be. All right guys, so we're about 15, 16 minutes in, and as soon as you open that up, you just get hit with that smell, and I love it. So you guys can see this board is getting charred. So this is where, if we would have soaked this for like 30 minutes, this thing would be in flames right now. So again, it just kind of justifies that hour to 2 hour range. I think we were about an hour and a half on this one, but just going to temp this really quick. And yeah, so we're at, so right there. Okay, so we're sitting at about 115 degrees. So we're definitely getting close. At 400 degrees, this is probably going to end up being the 20, 22 minutes. So we're going to put it back down, check it in 5 minutes, and we're probably going to be like right there. Okay, we're sitting at about 23, 24 minutes. You guys can see the board, or the plank. You can see this has got nice and charred. This will probably answer you guys' question. One thing we get a lot is, can you reuse these planks? So you're looking at this, I've never tried to do it. So my guess would be you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of that. So there's going to be times, where maybe you can, depending on how long you soak it, get a couple uses out of it. It's nothing I've never done that. Not saying it can't be done. I haven't done recipes with it, but people will do cedar planks in the oven, so that might be a great option where you can reuse planks. But my thought process is, you know, we soaked this for a while. We got a lot out of that cedar plank, so reusing it, you know, you're not going to get that same smoke and flavor and aroma coming out of the plank itself. But again, you know, you guys could totally give it a shot. We get asked that a lot. So we are, excuse me, we're sitting at, you know, I'm temping anywhere from like, I got some pieces here. There we go. So we're at 140 up here. I'm upwards about 149, 150. So I'm gonna pull this. I like to stay around, you know, again, I'll usually hover around 140 just because I know what that temp is usually going to do, and the way I like to eat seafood, that's where it's definitely still going to be, you know, a little bit raw. You're going to cut into that, and you're going to see a lot more opaqueness. You know, one of the biggest things with salmon is everyone talks about, you know, not overcooking it, not drying it out. It gets tough. So you want to watch those temps, or if you know your times, you know, you watch those times, and we talk about that in these videos. But I recommend, you know, hovering around that, you know, 140, you know, 150, 155, upwards of 160, and that's about it. You know, when you pull this, it's still going to cook. So I know, you know, once I pull this, even at 140, it's probably going to, by the time, you know, we bite into it, it's probably going to be upwards of 150, 155. So once you get into that 170, 180, you know, even on a steak, you know, a steak, what a well-done steak is what, 180 degrees. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, when you get upwards of that, you know, that's where this stuff is going to taste dry and overcooked and tough. So do everything you can avoid that. Food thermometer is a super easy solution, you know, just knowing where you are in those temperatures. But let's stop talking. Let's get this off the grill.